Klaviyo has shipped more features in 2026 than in the previous 3 years combined. Most of those features you'll never need. A handful of them will quietly make your emails more money, and this video will help you to determine which is which. If we've not already met, my name is Jack Shaw. I run Surefire Media. We've worked with over 75 different D2C e-commerce brands, all using Klaviyo. I've been using Klaviyo since 2022. I've seen it at its best. I've seen it at its worst. And this is the latest updates on where Klaviyo is today. So here's why this video exists then. So Klaviyo is releasing updates faster than ever, and most of this is off the back of AI. Now, honestly, this is really hard to keep up with, especially when you're already running a business or you're even just running your own Klaviyo account. It takes a lot of time and effort to actually keep that thing going. You don't have time to read through every changelog of all the new updates and features that Klaviyo is releasing. So the brands that are going to pull ahead are going to be those ones that learn these features, the ones that matter, that is, before everybody else gets around to it. Now, that's the job that we do at Surefire Media for our clients. So our clients don't read the release notes. We do. And then we test it and we see what's worthwhile and then we implement it. They never even know about what's actually going on, and that's the beauty of working with us. And that's basically what I'm doing in this video for you now, so you can see which features are worth paying attention to, which ones you don't really need to go into that much depth on. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to feature 3 of the main updates here, the most important ones, and then a couple of honourable mentions at the end. But the first one that I'm going to feature is the personalised send time. So this is probably the most boring, but that's usually a good sign because they're quite fundamental. So this is worth understanding the mechanism behind it, because it's really about how people are using their phones these days, how people are reading notifications when they get them. So most people, at least that I know, and myself included, don't read all notifications as they arrive. They tend to triage them. I know that if I were to read every single notification that I get coming through, and if I even had my notifications on, I'd never get anything done. And so you tend to glance at your phone between other things. You swipe away the stuff that you don't care about, and anything that happened to land whilst you were mid-task, that stuff gets cleared along with it. So take, for example, a campaign that arrives at the wrong moment for somebody. It's not even getting ignored. It's getting completely buried amongst all the other things that they've got going on before they even clocked what it was. And so for that person, the message may as well not have even been sent. So as you can see here from Klaviyo, behind the scenes, personalized send time uses reinforcement learning to intelligently choose send times when each profile is most likely to open, click, or place an order based on past engagement behavior and similar profiles. I find that absolutely mind-boggling. That's crazy, but it also makes sense. But the fact that we can actually do that is going to be a game changer. So here's some actual data from Klaviyo's beta program from a company called Shady Rays. So apparently campaigns that use this saw a 35% increase in click rates. So every campaign sent with personalized send time is automatically tested with a control group to directly compare performance, blah, blah, blah. So in short, this thing worked very, very well. To get a 35% boost in clicks is really good. Not only that, but they saw a 10% increase in placed order rates after testing personalized send time with over 30 email campaigns. So that's pretty significant data. Now, if there's one catch that's worth mentioning, it's this one here, which is that Klaviyo has moved this into its marketing analytics and its advanced data platform packages, which means it now sits behind a paid add-on. It's not coming with its standard Klaviyo subscription, so you're going to have to pay extra if you want this. So that's worth knowing before you go hunting for the toggle and you can't find it. It's probably because you're not paying for it. But still, I think this will be useful, but more for your emails that aren't really driven by massive sales. So you don't really need this for flash sales, I don't think, because again, they tend to be over a long period of time. But if you've got campaigns that are going out there like newsletters or product announcements or loyalty-based stuff, educational-based stuff, that is where it's probably going to be worth some kind of value. But again, depending on the size of your email list, the size of your business, maybe you can do this manually to begin with and then switch over to this. You really need more data in order to actually get a benefit from this. If you've got the data, give it a try. All right, so the second feature is called multi-email profiles. Now, if you do proper segmentation, then this matters more than it looks. So multi-email profiles is part of what Klaviyo is referring to as advanced identity resolution. So the problem it speaks to is that the same person on your list often sits there twice with more than one email address. I've had this so many times where a user might sign up with their personal email address, but then they place an order on their work email address, for example. So essentially they sit on your list as 2 separate people. And if you're doing segmentation, you're trying to have one offer for your customers, one offer for your non-customers. That one person is receiving them both. And then if the non-customers are being favored over the customers or the other way around, then one person can get a little bit irritated, a little bit annoyed and think, well, why am I not receiving, the same offer? This isn't fair and all the rest. And it does cause issues like that. So this is hopefully going to help with that. So the main thing that's changed is that one person, one profile in Klaviyo can now hold up to 5 email addresses on a single customer profile. So that's pretty good. It allows you to collate those emails. And the most important thing again is that your billing isn't going to be so inflated as well. We all know that Klaviyo bills by profiles, and if one person is signing up with 5 email addresses, well, then your email list could be 5 times bigger or 5 times smaller, let's say, but you're paying 5 times the actual cost of that email list. So this will help to not only solve the segmentation issue, but also bring down your Klaviyo bill. Now, the main thing that I wanted to know about this is whether or not this process is automatic, and the answer is partly. So the basic merging, where Klaviyo links a phone number or an email to one person, that's been around and automatic for years, but the new multi-email layer, it seems, merges when 2 profiles share the same external ID. Now, for most brands, this is just the same as the Shopify customer ID, so it's only really as clean as the data that Shopify passes through it, and any inconsistent IDs that are upstream of that will still leave you with duplicates. So the source data is doing the real work. Now, the genuinely new part about all of this is the typo matching and so on, is that this all once again lives inside of the advanced data platform. So as you can see, this is another paid tier that you're going to have to pay extra for and switch on yourself if you actually want to benefit from. And another keynote is this one here, that profile merging is a permanent action. So any profiles that are merged from an identity resolution transformation cannot be unmerged. So this is very key information. You want to be careful when you're doing this because it can't be undone and you will mess up your list. There's a guide here on how to actually use that from Klaviyo themselves. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not an expert on it yet, so I would recommend following Klaviyo's data. Now, here's the part that I'd actually pay attention to, because this can actually quietly cost you money without you even realizing it. So it's this bit here. And the whole point is that if a customer has got several emails on one profile, an event that comes in stays tied to the email address on whatever profile, whatever email that it occurred on. Let me give you an example to make it a bit clearer. So your customer browses using their work email and leaves items in their cart. The abandoned cart event is linked to their work email. So Klaviyo sends the flow to that address, even if their primary email is different. So that means that if a person has 2 email addresses, they've got their personal one, they've got their work one. They shop on their personal one, but for whatever reason, they're browsing on their work email address, they add to cart. The add to cart message is going to be sent to their work email address and not to their personal email address. And one of the worst parts is this bit here, that if an event email is unsubscribed or unreachable, Klaviyo skips the flow entirely. It will not fall back onto the previous, the primary email or any other address on that profile. Now, the maddening bit of all of this is that the primary email on that profile is by definition a consented, engaged, and deliverable email address. So Klaviyo's sitting on a perfectly good email and is choosing not to send to it. I'm not sure what the reason is for this. There must be some really good reason, but for me, that's a little bit annoying because the send just disappears. There's no error or there's nothing in your reporting to indicate that that's happened. You'd only ever really catch this if you went looking. And so why that is the case, I'm not sure. I hope they fix this. I hope they find a workaround, because to me, that sounds like they're building this entire solution where they can see all this data and they've got reasons to be able to link one person's address to another, and they're not using all the firepower that they can. Again, there must be a good reason, but I hope that they change this. All right, the third and final one is the headline feature, the one that you've probably already seen Klaviyo posting about a lot, and it's this. It's called Composer. So you type a plain text instruction, something like run a win-back flow for lapsed VIPs with a 20% off discount, something like that, and it will build the whole thing. Now, audience copy, the email, the SMS, the flow, Klaviyo says that it's pulling data across nearly 200,000 brackets to decide who to target, what to say, and which channels to actually use. That's pretty impressive. Now, I'm going to be straight about why this one interests me, and it's because it's a little bit awkward. So Composer, based on what it's telling us here, the way that it sounds is that it's going to automate a chunk of what agencies like mine are actually charging brands for. So I've got every reason to be a bit sniffy about it, and I'd rather be fair. My honest read so far is that it's good at the assembly. So the part that used to eat somebody's whole morning to try and build a campaign and then wire up the flow and do all of that kind of nitty-gritty grunt work, it does all of that in minutes. I think that's great. But what it can't do is decide what your actual retention strategy should be. It doesn't know which segment is quietly carrying your revenue and the ones that look busy but actually isn't converting anyone. It's generating from the average of 200,000 brands, and good retention is about deliberately being different from that average. So to me, it looks like a very fast pair of hands that still needs someone to actually know what to ask it for. Now, if you're a brand owner and you're doing, let's say 10, 20K, maybe even 30K per month, chances are you might still be running your own email. I know quite a lot of founders who actually still do it themselves. They still design the emails, write the copy, build them all in Klaviyo, segment them, and then send them out. If that's you, this will be genuinely useful because this will save you a ton of time. If you're running a massive company, if you've got a massive email list, if you actually want to survive in 2026 when it comes to doing your emails, and beyond, you cannot just expect to rely on this. The brands that are going to succeed with email moving forward, as more and more AI tools like this come into play and lower the barrier to entry and level the playing field as well, so that it's easy to run email. The easier email becomes to run, to implement, and therefore the more generic the whole thing gets. And so the people who are going to do well at it are the ones who have this specialized expertise, are the ones who actually know how to provide the customer what they want rather than use a generic AI template. Like I say, if you're a small brand, you've got no choice. Chances are you can't afford an agency just yet, or you just haven't found a good one yet, because let's face it, the majority of agencies are nightmares to work with. This is going to be useful for you. If you're a brand who's going somewhere, you're growing, you've got a big list, you want to actually retain those customers who are coming in, increase your repeat purchase rates, increase your customer LTV, I don't think you're going to be able to rely on this. Now, at the minute, this is in private beta, so most people won't be able to touch it yet. We're going to be trying it out. We've got a few clients who've got access to it, and so we're going to be testing it and see if it can save us some time. But I'll report back on that later with a more in-depth video. Okay, a few honorable mentions just before we wrap up. So, quicker ones now. First is the product recommendations feature that they've got. It now runs across SMS, push, and WhatsApp, which means that it's not just email, and so you can get a decent cross-sell lever across the board on those channels. So that's pretty cool. The second one is this one, which is a personalized on-site banner. I think this one's really cool because we already use this in Klaviyo emails. Now, the way that this works is, imagine you've got a customer and you've got a non-customer, both go to your website, but they essentially see a completely different website tailored to them. I think that's brilliant. So you can have a customer who's like, welcome home, here's your next thing, your next obsession, whatever it might be, and then a non-customer where it's like essentially like a sales page or a editorial type style thing where you're actually convincing them to become a customer. I think that's great. So then every single individual gets a personalized experience, and I think that is the way that e-commerce is going to be in the future. So this feels very futuristic. I'm a big fan of this one. However, again, this is an extra paid feature. You have to use their customer hub for this, so it's not part of the standard plan. But I think this one might be worth paying for. Again, if you're doing the numbers, you've got the email list size, give this one a try, because converting those non-customers is a big focus for many brands. I'm not going to go into too much detail there, but yeah, I think this one's good. I'm nearly giving away the source there, but I'm not going to go into that much more detail. Anyway, the last feature that I'm going to share is one that I'm actually not that big of a fan of, to be completely honest. So I'm a little bit skeptical about this. Is this one here, which is social auto replies for social list growth. Now, I think that the idea of getting people from Instagram into Klaviyo is actually inherently a good idea, but with all these features that Klaviyo are coming out with, like their customer support hub, like their on-site marketing agent as well, it feels to me like they're trying to become an everything tool. And the way that I see it is kind of similar to how Shopify has got their own email marketing function, but nobody uses it because it's trash. Klaviyo has built the best email and SMS marketing software on the planet for e-commerce brands. It's absolutely fantastic for that. And that's what I think that they should kind of focus on building more rather than building all these external tools. At the minute, Klaviyo is already a very expensive build. Everybody complains about that. Everybody knows it. And these additional things that they're creating, they feel like just as expensive add-ons or upsells that don't really have that much quality to them. So this is Klaviyo's on-site customer hub, customer support agent, whatever you want to call it. Now, I should declare an interest here because this is quite relevant. Now, my partner company, Grow AI, builds AI specifically for on-site experience and conversion rate as well. So it overlaps with this quite a lot. So I should state that. However, when I say that a specialist will be a generalist at that job, I do have skin in the game, sure, but I believe it either way. The tools that win this on-site and conversion layer will be the ones that only do that, not the ones that bolt it onto an email platform. So going back to this social replies for list growth thing, I think it is a good idea, again, to get people into your email list, but I'm just worried about where they're going to go next with it. Are they going to try and build some kind of social media response bot that, again, tries to generate sales, or what? Like, how is this going to feel when it's actually implemented? Are people going to feel like they're talking to robots? Are they going to feel like they're being funneled into somebody's email list? I'm not really so sure at the minute. I'm a little skeptical about this one. So where should you actually divvy up your attention then? How should you go from this point? Don't try and learn all of it. That's what I would say. Most of these operators who see all of these updates, and again, I think Klaviyo released like 70 plus updates this year. The people who try and learn all of those and implement them all at once are just going to hit a wall. You're just going to burn out. So I'd pick these ones from this video and slowly start to adopt and test each one of them and see what you think. My personal favorite and recommendation for you is the personalized send time. I think that one's going to be great for identifying who's going to open, who's going to click, who's most likely to convert at what time. I think that's an absolute game changer. So that's my recommendation there if you're going to test any from this video. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Once again, I'm still a big fan of Klaviyo. I'm going to keep on using it, keep on recommending it. They keep shipping good stuff. I'm going to keep on watching it. But for retention specifically, I'm staying on the email and the SMS side until the rest of it earns its place. If you want me to keep doing these breakdowns throughout the year as Klaviyo releases new features, then hit subscribe. I'll bring you the stuff that you actually need to know and cut out the rest of the noise. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.